둘, 셋, 반?
안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다.
As BTS celebrate their achievement, Taehyung quietly becomes the center of ARMY's attention. Hello ARMY. Welcome back to the BTS fans channel. This time, I want you to truly be present in this moment. Not just as a viewer, but as someone who feels every second of it. Because what seems simple actually holds something much deeper. In a room filled with light, sparkling decorations hanging behind them, balloons that proudly read BTS #1. Everything feels like a symbol of a long journey, of struggle, hard work, and dreams that have finally come true. BTS sit together, not on a grand stage, not in the middle of a massive concert, but at a simple table, with an atmosphere that feels so close, so warm, as if this isn't just a celebration, but a family moment. Each member brings their own energy. Some immediately lighten the mood with jokes. Some speak passionately, sharing stories. Some laugh uncontrollably. And everything feels so alive. You can hear their laughter. You can feel the happiness even through the screen. But in the middle of all that flowing energy, there is one rhythm that feels different. Slower, calmer, deeper. And that rhythm comes from one person, Kim Taehyung. He sits there, not trying to take over the conversation, not trying to be the center of attention. And yet, your eyes keep returning to him. Once you notice him, it's hard to look away. The way he sits, relaxed, yet naturally elegant. The flower garland around his neck isn't just an accessory. It feels like it enhances the gentle aura he already has. His gaze is never rushed. He looks at the other members when they speak. He truly listens. And in a world that is often too busy to listen, that small thing feels incredibly meaningful. Sometimes, he simply stays quiet. But his silence isn't empty. His silence is full of meaning. As if behind every calm expression, there are emotions that don't need words. When the others laugh loudly, Taehyung smiles softly. And that smile, not exaggerated, not forced, but enough to make your heart feel warm. As if he's quietly saying, I'm happy to be here. And maybe that's what makes it so touching. Because simple happiness often feels the most real. As the moment continues, the camera captures different angles. But strangely, amid all that movement, Taehyung feels like a steady focal point. Not because he is still, but because his presence is grounding, calm, rooted, and balancing everything around him. ARMY begins to notice. Comments start flooding in. I don't know why, but I keep looking at Taehyung. He's not even doing much, but his aura is so strong. Why does he feel like the main character in this moment? And those questions don't need logical answers. Because what people feel isn't something that can be explained with numbers or theory. This is about emotion. About how someone can be present without trying to be seen. Taehyung doesn't steal attention in the usual way. He doesn't create big moments. He doesn't make flashy moves. But because of that, every small thing he does feels so much more meaningful. The way he slightly tilts his head while listening. The softness in his eyes when he watches the others laugh. The quiet little chuckle that almost goes unheard. Everything feels real. And maybe that's his strength. When many try to shine brighter, Taehyung chooses to remain gentle. And that's exactly why His light feels different. It's not the kind that blinds you, but the kind that slowly warms you. The kind you don't notice at first, until suddenly, you can't look away. Even when the camera isn't fully on him, you can still feel his presence. Like something that never fades, even when it's not in full focus. And somehow, that quiet presence becomes the very thing that holds your attention the longest. And the longer you watch, the more you realize something. This isn't about who stands out the most. It's about who feels the most. And in that moment, Taehyung is a feeling you simply can't ignore. Not loud, not overwhelming, but deeply, undeniably there. This celebration is indeed about a huge achievement. About charts. About records. About the history BTS continues to write. But behind all of that, there is a quieter story. A story about someone who doesn't need a big stage to leave a deep impression. Kim Taehyung. Someone who proves that elegance doesn't have to be loud. That charm doesn't have to be forced. That presence can be more powerful than action. And maybe what makes it even more special is how natural it all feels. There's no effort to impress, no need to demand attention. Yet somehow, attention finds him anyway. Like a quiet gravity, pulling your focus without you even realizing it. You don't decide to watch him. You just do. And by the time you notice, you've already been watching him longer than you expected. And as the moment slowly comes to an end, the laughter softens. The conversations begin to fade. There's one feeling that remains. Warmth. Calmness. Connection. A quiet kind of comfort. Like being somewhere familiar, even if you've never been there before. As if without realizing it, Taehyung has gently pulled everyone into his quiet world. Yet one full of meaning. A world where even silence speaks. And the smallest gestures carry the deepest emotions. And maybe that's why his moments never feel empty. Even in stillness, there is something alive. Something honest. Something that stays. And when the video finally ends, one thing becomes clear. Many people came to celebrate BTS. But they stayed because of Taehyung. And even after it's over, his presence lingers. Like a soft echo that refuses to disappear. It stays in your thoughts. In the quiet moments after. When you suddenly remember. A glance. A smile. A feeling you can't quite explain. Not because he was the loudest, but because he was the most felt. So ARMY, now I want to know, did you feel it too? That quiet pull. That subtle moment. That made everything else fade for a second. Was there a small moment from Taehyung that quietly made you stop and look? Or maybe you have your own reason why he always feels different. Tell me in the comments. Because sometimes the most beautiful stories aren't the loudest ones, but the ones that stay with you long after everything else fades. The ones you don't just watch, but carry with you, even after the screen goes dark. And don't forget, like, share and subscribe for more stories that aren't just meant to be watched, but to be felt. See you in the next video, ARMY.